Friends, goodness, and wisdom to all. Welcome at the Summary Club. Today's topic is not for the faint of heart, the top 10 most incredible cases of healing and salvation that are hard to believe. Is it possible to survive falling from the 47th floor, surviving decapitation, or surviving 4 months without a heart? It turns out yes. You will learn about people who manage to survive against all odds. The capabilities of the human body are much broader than is commonly believed. Although, yes, to each his own. Some are exhausted by a slight runny nose and a temperature of 37.5, or die from a small wound that has been infected. And someone is able to endure a fever of 40 or survive the worst disease that befell him. We will tell you about life-saving cases that surprised even medics who have seen many things. However, not without the participation of these very medics, to whom special respect. These most unbelievable cases of healing and salvation will undoubtedly surprise you too. Metal scrap in the head. Such an unexpected gift was received by an American builder named Gage while laying a railroad. Working as a blaster, he was wielding a large crowbar more than 3 centimeters in diameter, sealing a plug over a powder charge. Suddenly, he accidentally struck a spark that ignited the charge. From the explosion, the crowbar rushed upward like a projectile from below and entered under Gage's left eye and exited between the frontal and parietal bones, piercing his head all the way through. The builder managed to survive against all odds, even though he lost a large part of the left hemisphere of his brain. 2 months later, he was active again, rather than in a wheelchair. Nevertheless, his emotional disturbances and strange behavior followed him for the rest of his life. People around him remarked that it was as if he had become a different person. A whole hour in icy water. Michelle Frank, a 3-year-old girl, spent so much time among the ice. She fell into an icy river while walking on its ice with her brother. It all happened instantly. The ice cracked and Michelle disappeared under the water. Neither her mother nor rescuers were able to find her for an hour, but finally rescuers were able to do so well downstream. The baby's body temperature was only 18 degrees. When the doctors warmed her up a bit, she came back to life. The first thing they did was to check the condition of her brain, which had been without oxygen for an hour. And, miraculously, it was intact. 2 months later, a completely healthy child was discharged from the hospital. But it is considered that a person can stay in the water at +4 degrees for no more than 15 minutes. So this case of the girl's salvation can be considered quite unique. She was clearly landed on her feet, and after this incident, we can say she was born again. Incredible case of surviving a fall from the 47th floor. It happened to Alcides Moreno, a window cleaner in skyscrapers. Climbing into a special cradle at a height of 144 meters with his brother to begin their work, they felt the cradle begin to settle on one side and then go sharply downward. Alcides' brother, who was standing on the other end, fell out and flew down. After him, Alcides himself flew down, clutching tightly to the cradle. He landed with the cradle in his arms. The speed of the fall was 190 kilometers per hour. After landing, Alcides remained conscious and even tried to get up, but he failed. No wonder. His legs, arms and spine were broken, and his lung was punctured. But after numerous surgeries, he not only got back on his feet, but he led an active life. He even participated in a charity run recently. But his brother died instantly when he fell on a wooden fence. The beheaded woman came back to life. This too was only possible with the help of doctors, since such an injury is considered incompatible with life. Shannon Malloy survived a car accident in which her skull separated from her spine. However, her neck and blood vessels remained in place. Doctors call it internal decapitation, which kills 7 out of 10 people it has happened to. With the help of titanium fasteners, the woman's head was reattached to her spine, and apart from difficulties in swallowing, she has no other discomfort, and this problem, as the doctors assure her, will soon pass. Whole life in an iron tank conducted by Diane Odell. After suffering from polio at the age of 3, her lungs stopped functioning. To save the girl, she was placed in a special tank, the name given to a large ventilator, in which she actually lived for the rest of her life, almost 60 years. She left the machine daily only for a few hours, including visits to school and then to university. Diana was not abandoned by her parents and relatives. They constantly visited her, held birthdays and other celebrations near the tank, preventing her from feeling lonely. But most surprisingly and sadly, the woman died from an elementary power outage. Collie Harding survived at a 1% chance. That's how long you get for amoebic meningoencephalitis, which is considered incurable and which the 12-year-old girl contracted when she was at the water park. Almost immediately, she needed a ventilator, and in the usual scenario, she should have gotten worse and worse. But doctors and parents have prescribed a different scenario for Kali. They began to treat her with experimental methods since there was nothing left to lose. The girl was injected with all sorts of drugs designed to treat other diseases, severe head injuries, malignant tumors of the mammary glands, fungus, and more. And a miracle of healing happened. After only 2 days, the tests showed that the parasites had disappeared from the girl's body. She came to her senses and recovered completely. Here is a picture of the parasite Naegleria filera under a microscope. It caused the disease. Kali Harding survived at a 1% chance. That's how long you get for amoebic meningoencephalitis, which is considered incurable and which the 12-year-old girl contracted when she was at the water park. Almost immediately, she needed a ventilator, and in the usual scenario, she should have gotten worse and worse. But doctors and parents have prescribed a different scenario for Kali. They began to treat her with experimental methods since there was nothing left to lose. The girl was injected with all sorts of drugs designed to treat other diseases, severe head injuries, malignant tumors of the mammary glands, fungus, and more. And a miracle of healing happened. After only 2 days, the tests showed that the parasites had disappeared from the girl's body. She came to her senses and recovered completely. Here is a picture of the parasite Naegleria filera under a microscope. It caused the disease. A tooth for an eye was given by builder Martin Jones, who had become blind in both eyes as a result of a work-related injury. He sacrificed his own tooth, which doctors used as a lens holder for one of his eyes. Thanks to this unique surgery, the man can see again, although he looks creepy with a tooth in his eye. Only the upper half of the body remains. To a Chinese man, Peng Shuling, who was run over by a truck. But he didn't even lose consciousness after receiving such a severe injury. The man survived. What followed was a series of unique surgeries in which all of his remaining vital organs were moved to the rest of his body. Instead of legs, Peng now has special biotic prostheses, thanks to which he can walk. Today, he owns a store with a catchy name Half Man Half Price. 19 years in a coma. Jan Grebsky, a Pole, spent a day after suffering a severe blow to the head at work. He survived. And when he woke up, there was a lot of news waiting for him, 11 grandchildren, and a complete change of scenery. 4 months without a heart. Jean Simons, 14, lived. She needed a heart transplant. But when doctors performed the operation, her body did not accept the donor heart, starting to reject it. The organ had to be removed, and Jean was hooked up to an artificial circulation machine that kept her alive by replacing her heart for 4 whole months until another donor heart was found and transplanted. All this time the girl was worried that the magical machine wouldn't malfunction. As we can see, most of these cases of healing and coming back to life are medically and scientifically inexplicable or unexplainable. There is a power that preserves a person if he is destined to do so. Through self-knowledge we can attract this power to ourselves consciously. It is only necessary not to be lazy and to work on ourselves. And friend, don't forget to subscribe to the Summary Club for becoming more successful, educated, kinder and wiser every day. Save hundreds of hours and dollars spending on boring regular education. Feel free to write your opinions and questions about each video. We read all the comments. In addition, go to our official website where you can find reading materials or watch other videos on channel and links in the description. All the best.